We welcome you back to Minneapolis. The fans are ready to get the home season underway, and the Vikings played very well in front of the home folks in recent years. And they will get their hands on the football first. Deep at the goal line is Percy Harvin. In his second season out of the University of Florida, Pro Bowl kick returner a year ago, and we're underway. Harvin from the 7. Breaks across the 25 to about the 29-yard line, where Sean Smith catches up with him. At quarterback, number 4's track record is amazing. 3-time MVP, 11 Pro Bowl, 498 career touchdowns. This is his 287th regular season start. A TD pass and a pick in the season opening loss at New Orleans. And in our meeting with him, Dan, yesterday, just as sprightly as ever.
Nothing ever changes with Brett. The only thing, does he have a stubble or not a stubble? Yesterday, he's clean shaven, so you know what? That's the news of the week.
Empty backfield on first down, and Favre throws to the near side. That is complete to Harvin, and he's hit almost immediately after the catch. Brett Favre's offensive line is huge, anchored by 10th-year veteran Steve Hutchinson at left guard. Favre and the Vikings will look to Adrian Peterson for the ground game. He led the National Football League in rushing touchdowns last season with 18 of them. This time Peterson lines up behind Favre. A loss of 1 on the play makes it 2nd and 11. Peterson turning the corner. Not much there to the 30-yard line. The Dolphins 3-4 defense. Paul Soliai starts at nose tackle for Randy Starks, who moves outside. At linebacker, newly acquired Carlos Dansby had a sack and a team-high 8 tackles in the Week 1 win at Buffalo. And in the secondary, number 37, Jeremiah Bell is the veteran of a young but talented Miami defensive corps.
A lot of changeover defensively for Miami. 8 new starters from opening day a year ago, a new defensive coordinator. We'll get into it as we go along, but change is the key word over there.
Favre got the defense to jump. That one is complete across the 30 to the 40. First down yardage for Percy Harvin. Well, Mike Carey is our referee.
Well, sometimes if you're looking for a break, create one on your own. And that's what they did there. Brett with a hard count, and then Percy Harvin with a really slick move after the catch to burst for the first down. Harvin is just working right out of the slot. You can't run a simpler pattern than that, but then he gets away and makes Bell miss.
Rookie linebacker Colomisi was guilty of the offside. Here's Peterson to about the 45. A pickup of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 8. There's Brad Childress in his 5th season as the head man here in Minnesota.
He always gets his man. I know people have criticized him for his relationship with Favre, some of the things that he's done, sending players down to get him, etc., etc. To Brad Childress, the only thing that matters is what you're looking at right there. The number 4 is under center. Doesn't matter how he got here or what he had to do to get him here.
On 2nd and 8, Favre going to throw to the near side, and that is complete. And Percy Harvin, an active participant so far today. Vontae Davis there to hit him just as he crossed midfield. On the other side of the field is, well, you have to look hard to recognize Tony Sperano, because he is 65 pounds lighter than he was 1 year ago.
Tony going with these sunglasses indoors. That's an interesting look.
It's a totally new look.
Not going to have the sun in his eyes. The last time I checked, there's a lid on top of his place.
We asked Tony how he lost the weight. He said the good old-fashioned way.
He sure did. No surgery for Tony. He just quit eating.
32. You give it to Peterson. Peterson has first down yardage and then some. Inside the 40, inside the 45 to the Dolphin 34 and a first down.
Well, Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings, is using a lot of mix and match, and right now he's got the Dolphins on defense a little bit off balance. Tremendous blocking. There's the first contact. The first time Adrian Peterson is touched, he's more than 10 yards downfield. Take a look at that, and that's Dansby that gets in there, but great job by Herrera. Load hold up front, great block.
Vikings have been alternating the pass and the run on alternate plays. On first down, going to give it to Peterson and try the right side again, and he darts inside the 30 to about the 27.
Oh, good look there. What kind of leg strength Adrian Peterson has. Paul Solei, the nose tackle, has an arm on him, and he's got him pretty good. Watch Solei. He's going to come in from the right side of your screen. Right there, he's going to get the left arm on the ball on Peterson. And Peterson, just those legs keep churning and driving. Well, this is exactly what Minnesota was looking for. Get your wide receivers involved, play the whole field, but more importantly, get AP loose and free.
Toby Gerhart, the rookie out of Stanford, in the game in the slot to the near side. On 2nd and 3. 8th play of this drive. Barr pulls it down, now throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Bernard Berrien, coming across the middle.
Nice work by Jason Allen, who beat out Sean Smith for the starting job over there at right corner. Now Brett Favre, he starts left, comes back like he always does. He moves around a little bit in the pocket. And that's a pass that was going to be completed, but look at the left hand of Jason Allen get right on the football and knock it away. Textbook job by a corner.
And now the Vikings looking at a 3rd and 3. They are 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. And we get a false start. Percy Harvin might have moved on the far side. It was Harvin.
Well, as he normally is, Percy Harvin is lined up in the slot. No, that's enough. That is enough when you're set. You know, it is so hard to not do that sometimes, but you know, the guys on the inside who are closest to the quarterback, they really have to hold it, and they get short-tempered when a wide receiver is the guy that's guilty of a false start. They don't understand why those guys can be influenced by that. They just move on the ball.
3rd and 3 turns into a 3rd and 8. Favre throwing, and that's complete. Coming across the middle is Harvin, and he is knocked out of bounds short of the 25-yard line and short of first down yardage.
Ooh, and Brett Favre had Cameron Wake right down low as he was throwing this ball, but he got the delivery.
And Brad Childress looking for all the world like he's going to go for it here on 4th down.
Boy, he puts that thing right out in front of Harvin. Harvin makes an excellent catch reaching for it, but he never had to break stride.
4th and 2.
Well, they're within Longwell's range.
Favre will throw for it and bat it down at the line of scrimmage, and the ball will go over to Miami.
Well, Tony Sperano is thrilled, but they were within range for Ryan Longwell, and instead Brad Childress decided, he just had the feeling the way they were moving the football that they were going to be able to move the chains once again, but not so.
Randy Starks with the knockdown. We've been talking about it all during the timeout, Dan. Brad Childress deciding to go for it on 4th down. I don't have a problem with going for it at home and with the momentum that he had early on.
No, he had all those things going for him. I just wanted to point out that he was well within Ryan Longwell's range. It would have been about a 43 or 44-yard kick.
Henning going to throw on 1st down, and he's going to go deep down the far side. That is complete inside the 30-yard line to Brandon Marshall.
Well, all of South Florida has been buzzing about the conservative passing game that Miami showed in Buffalo last week. When are you going to take a shot? When are you going to take a shot? Well, how about the first play of the game for them offensively? And Chad lays a perfect pass right onto the palms of Brandon Marshall. Wow, it doesn't get much better than that.
46 yards. He beat Lito Shepherd down the sideline. The line of scrimmage now the 27, and the give is to Ronnie Brown, and Brown inside the 25 to about the 23. Chad Henne is the quarterback for the Dolphins, efficient enough to get Miami its first win last week, still looking for his first touchdown pass of the season. And and he goes to the sideline, and sounds like Wildcat formation onto the field to me.
You think?
Ronnie Brown ready to take the snap. Going right, cuts inside the 20-yard line to about the 18. Up front for Miami, third-year tackle Jake Long will be tested today. He'll be trying to protect the quarterback's blind side. And the backs and the receivers, a strong running game, and you've seen what newcomer Brandon Marshall can do. He is the deep threat through the air. 3rd and 1. Kenny back under center. The fullback, Lou Polite, bulls his way to the 16 and a first down.
Who, by the way, Lusaka Polite, the fullback, in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, he never fails to move the chains. He does. The last couple of years, he has an unblemished record. Every time he has run the ball, he has moved the chains.
Kenny goes to the sideline as the Wildcat offense takes the field again for the Dolphins on first down at the Minnesota 16.
There's exactly what I was talking about, 18 for 18.
Brown with Ricky Williams in the backfield. This time he gives to Williams, cuts it inside the 10 to about the 9.5. A quick check of the Viking defense. It led the NFL last year with 48 sacks. Defensive end Jared Allen went to the Pro Bowl with 14.5 of them. Minnesota's linebackers, E.J. Henderson back in the middle much sooner than anyone had hoped after a terrible leg injury a year ago. The most veteran of the defensive backs, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Antoine Winfield, in his 12th year out of Ohio State. Still in the Wildcat formation, Ronnie Brown calling the signal. On 2nd and 4, gives it to Ricky Williams again. Spinning inside the 5 to the 3, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And the Wildcat is more effective when the quarterback is over on the sidelines, because you get another wide receiver into the game, and just like here, you run to the 3 wide receiver side, and they're all out there blocking. You don't get any blocking if it's Chad Henne that splits out to the left. So then the Wildcat they've been running here so far, Henne has gone to the sidelines. Of course, Chad's back in. They're back into conventional offense. But I like that Wildcat with Henne on the sideline.
Brown and Polite behind Henne on 1st and goal. He's going to throw it and throws behind Brandon Marshall, the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Now, Marshall wasn't expecting the ball that quickly, and Chad wasn't expecting him to break his route that parallel that much to the sideline. You can see right now that Chad just wanted to give him a back shoulder throw, and Marshall didn't have any idea it was in the air.
Henne once again to the sideline along with Marshall.
And you saw him tap his chest right there. He's telling Brandon Marshall, that's on me. You were there and I didn't get it to you.
And Ronnie Brown calling signal. Fakes to Williams, keeps it, and may have lost about a yard. Chad Greenway in on the stop.
Well, that looked a little disorganized on the part of the Dolphins right there. They were that play just looked like it never had a feel to it. Like, I'm not sure if Ronnie Brown wasn't sure what was happening or whatever.
Third and goal, and here comes the crowd. There's a roughing the passer call against Minnesota, which will be declined, and it's a Miami touchdown.
Well, what a good-looking route run by Brian Hartline. He did an out and an up and got behind Lito Shepherd. Take a look at the stutter to the outside, right down, and then Shepard doesn't have any anticipation that Hartline is going to extend the route back into the back corner of the end zone. And that was a beautiful piece of work there by the Dolphins. What a drive, highlighted by the bomb to Brandon Marshall to start it off.
Extra point is good. Chad Henne took the hit, but delivered his first touchdown pass of the season.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Viagra. And by Bud Light. It's a sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Well, the Miami Dolphins stopped the Vikings on a 4th down and 2, and then turn around and Henne engineers a 9-play drive that finishes with a touchdown pass. And as you mentioned, Dan, the key play, the long one to Brandon Marshall.
Well, they got so much out of that drive. Last week, they didn't do anything long to Marshall, and Hartline didn't have a catch. Look, they took care of business on that drive. Hartline's out. He not only catch, he's got a touchdown.
This one will send Harvin all the way back to the back of the end zone. He won't bring it out. Vikings will start at their own 20-yard line when we come back. Miami 7 and Minnesota nothing.
If that's not one of the great theme songs of all time.
Book it, Dano.
You got it.
7-0 Dolphins. 4:40 to play here in the first quarter. Adrian Peterson and Percy Harvin accounted for all 50 yards gained on that first Minnesota drive. And Peterson to the left side, ducks outside, has first down yardage across the 30 out to about the 32. Told you that AP a season ago led the NFL in rushing touchdowns and 1,300 plus yards.
Well, when you get in the end zone 18 times, that is some accomplishment. That's the kind of production, touchdown production that most running backs only dream about. You've heard all the adjectives to describe him: violent. He is just a finisher. Some running backs get tackled. Adrian Peterson finishes.
Favre on first down, going to give it to him again, and this time he is stood up before he reaches the 30-yard line. And with that, we get our first NFL Today update from James Brown. JB.
Greg and Dan. Kevin Cobb may be at 7 apiece. Greg and Dan.
JB, thank you. 7-0 here. Minnesota trying to pull even. Lost of 3 on the last play. It's now 2nd and 13. Favre looks to the near side, hits Harvin, and Harvin tripped up just as he crossed the 35 out to the 37 by Vontae Davis. And if he hadn't gotten a foot, Percy Harvin could have been gone.
Well, Vontae Davis, just a second-year player, started all last year, and he's going to hold down this corner for the Miami Dolphins for a long time. And even though he lost his feet as he was sliding by Percy Harvin, he was able to grab the legs and get him down. Harvin so explosive after the catch. Great quickness.
I think Brett Favre is happy to have Harvin in the lineup. 5 for 5, and all of them to Percy Harvin. 3rd and 6 now. Favre buried. Back at the 28-yard line, Randy Starks led the charge along with Cameron Wake.
Well, Cameron Wake has really asserted himself as a pass rushing force here for Miami. You can see a totally empty backfield, and Wake gets right around Phil Lodeholt, the right tackle. And Brett has talk about a pocket that just disintegrates and implodes on the quarterback. That's what happened there to Brett Favre. But Cameron Wake, if you don't know that name, you better start paying attention.
Clifton Smith is deep for the punt from Cluey. It will bounce and roll toward the 30-yard line, and that's where it'll be down at about the 31 or 32-yard line. 1:59 to play in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network, and by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Just inside of 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew at Mall of America Field in Minneapolis. Ricky Williams in the backfield now, along with Lou Polite. And Henny to throw. Time, outside, cross midfield to Brian Hartline, and that's complete for a Miami first down.
Well, again, Brian Hartline, who had no receptions in their win over Buffalo last week, is now getting into the mix. And opposite Brandon Marshall, that receiver has got to be a part of this. And again, not very good coverage against that zone of the Vikings. He's able to run the sideline out, and a good pass from Chad Henne on the money.
Hartline, his first 2 receptions of the season, 24 yards and a touchdown so far today. Ricky Williams straight ahead to about the 46.
Well, we saw how this game started out, but last week there was some frustration between Henne and Marshall. They tried to go long a couple times, but they just couldn't get it done. There's the overthrow. This one is actually underthrown, and Marshall has to wait for it, and then he drops it. But that is now forgotten when this was the first offensive play for the Dolphins here this afternoon in Minnesota. A perfect strike from Henne, and that pass started a drive that ended up with a touchdown.
Ricky Williams in motion to the near side of the field. Vikings jump. Let's see if they were drawn across.
Fred Evans, number 90, was the first one.
Encroachment. Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And the penalty goes against Fred Evans of the Vikings.
Well, take a look at this. You can see that only the Cleveland Browns had fewer big plays last season, 20 yards plus, than the Miami Dolphins. And that is exactly why they went out to try to find someone who brings a little explosiveness to the wide receiver position. And certainly Brandon Marshall does that.
2nd and 3. Williams tripped at the line of scrimmage and falls forward and comes down at right about the first down marker.
Well, he'd have had a lot more than that if he wouldn't have tripped. There was a huge alleyway off left guard for Ricky Williams.
And we are going to call it 3rd down. But before we get this, we'll get the end of the first quarter.
It is 3rd and very little.
We come to the end of the first quarter here in Minneapolis. The Vikings trailing Miami by a score of 7-0. And we'll come back to Mall of America Field right after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Yeah. Tony Sperano on the left, Brad Childress on the right. In the first quarter, Childress's Vikings came up short on their opening drive. Sperano's Dolphins converted for a touchdown. 3rd and inches. And straight ahead for the first down is Lusaka Polite.
Why wouldn't you give it to Polite in that situation? As we talked before, the man is money in short yardage. But I think any running back in football would have picked that up. That was great blocking by the guys up front. 2 new guards here for Miami, and John Jerry, a rookie at right guard, and then Richie Incognito. He's settled in at the left guard spot.
First down at the Minnesota 36. Henne running out of time and goes down. Kevin Williams. Five-time Pro Bowler came through and hit Chad Henne.
In Minnesota, it's called the Williams Wall. Pat Williams, Kevin Williams, and Kevin Williams. You know, Pat Williams is the nose tackle, but Kevin Williams is the explosive one. Jake Long did his job. He just handcuffed Jared Allen, but that was a nice slip move inside by Kevin Williams.
Loss of 8, 2nd and 18. Inside handoff to Ronnie Brown, and he goes nowhere. Didn't even reach the 45.
Oh, Chad Greenway got penetration there, and that play was dead. So all of a sudden, Minnesota, the last couple of plays, decided to play defense on Miami's side of the football. This front seven for Minnesota, so talented. Greenway, Lieber, Henderson at the linebackers, and the front four of Edwards, Williams, and Allen. Probably the best front four in football.
3rd and 20, and they're going to hand it off up the middle. And Polite to about the 42, and that'll make the Dolphins kick it away.
And again, Kevin Williams, a defensive tackle. Did you see how quickly he was able to close that hole and slide back in and make the tackle? I mean, that looks like a linebacker covering ground. That's why this guy goes to the Pro Bowl every year.
Brandon Fields comes on to punt it away for Miami, and Bernard Berrien is deep for the Vikings. Fair catch called for, and he muffed it. It's on the ground, and he got it back. Would have been disastrous for the Vikings. Instead, they'll start deep in their own territory, but with the football after this. Is your fantasy football site letting you down? There's still time to upgrade to the award-winning Fantasy Football Commissioner. Get a special offer and help moving your league at cbsports.com/upgrade. Favre and the Vikings start deep in their own territory. Favre rolling right, throws and hits the tight end, Vasante Shenko. Jeremiah Bell with the stop.
Well, he finally gets Shenko in the mix so far. Again, he might be 40 years old, but the legs are younger than that. And out of the pocket and on the move, Brett Favre still able to throw an accurate pass.
Out of the pocket is not where Tony Sperano wants to see Brett Favre today.
No, nor any other opposing coach in the last 40 years.
On 2nd and 6, this is Peterson, and Peterson pulls his way close to the 20-yard line. We get another NFL Today update with James Brown.
Trailing 7-3 to the Cowboys. Look how Chicago answers back, Greg. Jake Cutler quickly over the middle to the tight end, Greg Olsen. Big fella, lumbering to pay dirt, putting the Bears on top of Dallas. 10-7 late in the first quarter. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deardorff.
James Brown, thank you. 3rd and 5. Favre needs the 29-yard line or the 24-yard line for a first down. Harvin in motion. Favre out here, and that's complete. Adrian Peterson out on the backfield, and enough for the first down at about the 26.
Well, that was nice work by clearing the receivers. Percy Harvin came in motion, took the defenders with him. But it is a committee effort here in Minnesota now to replace Chester Taylor. And it's going to be a little bit of everybody. It's going to be Adrian Peterson playing a lot more on 3rd down. It's also going to include Percy Harvin actually incorporating himself into that 3rd down back roll a little.
Here's Peterson. Peterson trying to move the pile at about the 27, 28-yard line.
You know, everyone for the Vikings kind of zeroes in on Sidney Rice not being here, but you know, Chester Taylor, who left in free agency, is now with the Bears. What a monster role he filled on this offense on 3rd down. And Peterson and the backs on this Viking team, they know they're all going to have to take turns filling Chester's shoes.
Brad Childress told us he likes to go with 2 tight ends against this Miami defense today. 2nd and 8. Favre down the middle. Shenko across the 45 to the 46-yard line. First down. Split Chris Clemens and Jeremiah Bell for the catch.
Well, and running a pattern like that, even though he starts at a conventional tight end position, Vasante Shenko runs like a wide receiver. And he is a gifted athlete with soft hands, and of course Brett Favre is in love with the guy. And why not? Last year they had a wonderful year together. 11 touchdown passes. Shenko from Favre. I guarantee you Vasante wishes Brett was 28 instead of 40.
Once again, the Vikings off alternating the pass and the run.
All right, Brett kind of offsides again.
He's going to go up the middle. Shenko inside the 25 to the 21-yard line.
And boy, working the left seam, the right seam, it doesn't seem to make much difference. Shanko's open.
Offside. Defense number 70 is declined. The play is a first down.
Let's listen in to Brett Favre.
One of the great hard counts in football. And again, Shanko lined up at the tight end position, and that's a blow by Miami. They give him a and they just lose track of Shanko. That's busted coverage all the way by Miami.
First down, Vikings now at the Miami 21. This is Peterson. Dancing his way inside the 15 to 12 and about a yard short of a first down. Quentin Moses with the stop.
When you talk to Adrian Peterson, he'll tell you that, you know, his running, he knows how it goes. He calls it like famine, feast. Because he knows a lot of times he's going to get swarmed. There's nothing there. Maybe he just has to power for a yard or two. But this is a guy who realizes every time he touches it, there's a big play lurking somewhere very nearby.
Number 32, Toby Gerhardt, the Vikings second-round draft pick out of Stanford in the backfield now behind Favre. And the give is to Gerhardt. Gerhardt very close to a first down near the 10-yard line.
And Toby Gerhardt, welcome to the NFL. He's had a knee problem, and that's his first carry. That's his first carry of the year, and here we go without a huddle.
Gerhardt's still in there, and he gets his second carry, and this one to about the 10. Give him about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9.
I believe Mr. Peterson is going to return to the field for Brad and his bunch.
In his 4th season out of Oklahoma, and there's Gerhardt. Coming up on 7 minutes to play here in this first half. Miami in the lead, Vikings threatening. 10th play of this drive. And we get movement on the line again.
Well, this time Brett got his own guys to go. Looked like Brian McKinney, the left tackle, rocked back in his stance. It happens all the time where the quarterback is so good with the hard count. McKinney's the closest guy to you. You see he and Steve Hutchinson both get up and get going. Sometimes your own quarterback scares you into moving. You know better. You know what it's not until the next touch, and it's just involuntary sometimes. You feel pretty stupid.
Somebody has to go, weren't you in the huddle?
Yeah, I know. There is no excuse.
2nd and 14 now. Peterson, left side, and stacked up at the 13-yard line. Leading the charge is Paul Soliai, the nose tackle, along with Bobby Carpenter.
You think the Dolphins have been talking about gang tackling on Adrian Peterson? I believe there were 6 of them on top of him at the conclusion of that play.
I think that's a league-wide discussion.
Yes. You saw Bobby Carpenter in on that play, and he just recently joined Miami. He was released by the Rams. Once upon a time, a high draft choice, just trying to find a home here in the NFL.
Possible for the Vikings to get a first down without a touchdown. 3rd and 12 here. Favre throwing. Tipped up. It falls. Was it picked up? Picked off by the Dolphins. Vontae Davis.
How many different people touched that football
without letting it hit the ground
before Davis comes away with it?
Ball intended for Percy Harvin. Vontae Davis comes away with his first interception of the year.
Welcome back to Minnesota, everybody. Brad Childress has challenged this play. The ball hits Harvin. It then bounces up into the air. Vontae Davis gets the ball there before it touches the ground, but he's touched while he's down by Percy Harvin. So this is an interception. The ball does not touch the ground. Davis does a wonderful job of keeping it up in the air, but right here, Harvin leans over and touches him.
Now, Mike Carey did announce that Brad Childress was challenging whether it's an interception or not.
Well, it is an interception the way it was ruled, but they will adjust where the ball is spotted. But that was Percy Harvin looked like he lost his footing a little bit and was sliding down when that rocket from Brett Favre hit him. But it was a catchable ball. Harvin had it hit his hands, and it was a ball that could have been caught. Take a look at it right there. He just misplays it as he's falling, and he doesn't catch it with his hands. It kind of hits him in the bicep.
We talked about that very thing yesterday with Percy Harvin about the speed with which a Brett Favre pass arrives on target.
Yes, and this one just, you can see it just kind of ate up Percy Harvin. Again, who missed some practice time this week. He didn't practice Thursday. He was limited because of a sore hip.
And right there is where Vontae Davis gets touched by Harvin. And we expect Mike Carey will place the ball down at the 1 yard line, and it'll belong to Miami.
The ruling on the field was an interception. It was challenged by Minnesota. After review, it was truly an interception, but the intercepting player was down at the 1 yard line. Therefore, Minnesota will not be charged with a team timeout. First down. Please put 5.
So there was a part of the play that was ruled incorrectly on the field. So because of that, Minnesota won't be charged the timeout.
So now Kenny and the Dolphins have to look at that tough Viking defense from the 1 yard line.
They've had a few negative runs. They can't afford to have one here. That'd be a safety.
Ronnie Brown. Big hole left side. 40. Knocked out of bounds at midfield by Madieu Williams. How's that for getting out of trouble?
Pretty darn good if you're a Miami fan. What blocking off the left side by the Dolphins. Check this out. Incognito goes down. Jake Long pushes his man out. Patrick Cobbs gets a look at that gaping hole in the Minnesota defense. You know, when you play it like short yardage, which is what, you know, that's the way Minnesota was playing it. Everybody bunched in there together. When you get to that second level, sometimes there is no one in the second level.
51-yard dash. And the Dolphins now in Minnesota territory. Here's Ricky Williams trying the near side, and he gets stacked up after maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. Chad Greenway and E.J. Henderson.
Well, when Ronnie Brown breaks through there and into the open field, he's got a lot of spectators. Tony, he knows which way to go. He's headed the right way. I don't think you got to tell him, keep going this way. He's done it before.
No gain on this play, 2nd and 10. Henny with time. Out of the hands of the intended receiver. Polite out of the backfield. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Boy, outstanding pass protection that time by the guys up front. And great job there. He's working against Jared Allen. Watch this. This is how you freeze a guy. Jared Allen, where are you? He just totally disappeared and then got thrown away by Jake Long. Outstanding.
3rd and 10. Henny under pressure.
Oh, there's Jared Allen.
Back to the line of scrimmage, and Jared Allen in on the stop.
Well, he's working against Long, but it's actually going to be a double team because the back's going to help Jake Long and chip him. Ronnie Brown right there gets a good shot, and this is just because Henny took off, and he actually ran right towards Jared Allen.
That's Greg Camarillo, the ex-Dolphin, deep for the punt. Fair catch, called for and made at about the 7.5-yard line. 4:19 to play, first half. 7-0 Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Football fans, today is the day you double down. So good. The all-new CRZ Sport Hybrid, only from Honda. And by FedEx. We understand. You need a winning game plan. FedEx.
Hey, it's not too late to play NFL.com's all-new fantasy football game. It's the first and only game with video, and it's free and easy to play. Sign up today at NFL.com/fantasy. Adrian Peterson in the backfield. Gets the handoff on first down. Across the 10 and out to about the 13-yard line, where he is gang tackled.
You know, Greg, not all drives do you measure their success because they end in points. The Miami Dolphins started at their own 1-yard line, and at the end of that drive, they're forcing their opponents to start from their own 8. A tremendous shift in field position. A lot of times you're backed up to your 1-yard line. That ends up being a disastrous turn of events. That big play by Ronnie Brown in the blocking up front. Really big field position change.
Minnesota's offense, 13 runs, 13 passes, and here is Peterson again. And Peterson out to about the 19 and a first down. Ryan Baker, newly signed in the last day and a half, makes the stop.
Well, this Miami team defensively, they've been stout. Tony Sparano says, hey, I've got a team full of grinders. Well, with the addition of Dansby and the emergence of a guy like Cameron Wake and a good-looking rookie they've got in Koa Misi and young defensive backs, this is a very promising future for this defensive team for Miami.
Favre going to throw on first down. A little flare for Peterson. Peterson shaking a couple of tacklers and across 20 and out to about the 22-yard line. Chris Clemens knocked him out.
Well, Adrian Peterson has receiving skills. He always has. It's just because of Chester Taylor that he wasn't really a big part of the passing game. But a nice slick move right there. He's good in space. He runs good routes. He understands coverages. I guess I'm trying to say he's a pretty complete back.
It's fairly decent.
Yeah, not bad. If he sticks with it, he might make something of himself.
Peterson to the sideline. Gerhardt in the backfield on 2nd and 7. Favre going to go deep. Far sideline. Incomplete. Pass intended for Harvin. Covered step for step by Vontae Davis.
Well, Vontae Davis had the interception on the last drive, and he shows what a complete corner he's becoming in only his 2nd year. Because look at him run with Percy Harvin. He knows where the football is. Now, Brett, watch this. He's always good faking one way. Then at the very end, he actually has his own guy, Jeff Dugan, fall on the back of his legs. But he was able to step into that, and he got everything into that throw he could. Just great coverage by Davis.
3rd and 7. Peterson back onto the field. Favre throwing, and that is complete across the 30 to the 31. Visanthe Shanko again on the receiving end, and that's a Minnesota first down. What a weapon Visanthe Shanko is for Favre and the Vikings.
Oh, and Brett has so much confidence in him. And look at Brett squeeze his throw in there. And it was low and it was behind. That was all Shanko. That's a ball that 9 times out of 10 may not be caught.
2 minutes to play. A reminder, the Sprint halftime report coming your way. JV, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. 2 minutes to play. Each team the full complement of timeouts. First down, Minnesota, just across their own 30-yard line, and Favre to throw. Short one over the middle, wide open Peterson. 40, 45, out to about the 47-yard line and a first down. Bobby Carpenter with the stop, and the clock continues to move.
When Percy Harvin came back to make a block, and I think he hurt himself. He's come over to the Minnesota sideline and he is shaken up. He came back to try to lay somebody out to spring Peterson, and he did some damage to himself.
Batted down to the line of scrimmage, and that'll stop the clock at 1:20. Tony McDaniel with the bat down. Let's go back and look at Percy Harvin.
Yeah, let's see. He's going to come back here and try to make a block. Wow, it doesn't look like he landed very hard or anything. You can see he actually hits Jeremiah Bell in the back. Very difficult to tell from looking at that exactly what might have happened. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. That's what the Viking fans are hopeful of.
Peterson, 6 carries, 61 yards, and 3 catches for 26 yards. Favre throws, that's complete, just short of midfield. On the receiving end, Greg Camarillo.
Camarillo got traded head up for Benny Sapp, a popular player with the Vikings. He's playing just over in the nickel slot now on the field.
Favre pump fake, pulls it down, now throws, and that's incomplete inside the 45-yard line, intended for Peterson. Favre drags himself off the turf. 54 seconds to play.
Well, when you hold the ball this long, there's hardly any way you're not going to get hit at the end of it. And Brett again buys himself a little time, extends the play, but I'm sorry, this is the NFL. Anybody that holds the ball that long, Brett knows it. He's going to take a shot. The rookie Koemisi finished him off that time.
On 4 drives here in the first half, Minnesota had to turn it over on downs and then had a punt, an interception, and now another punt. Clifton Smith deep for Miami. Good kick by Pluie. Gonna let it bounce and roll into the end zone for the touchback. So with 45 seconds on the clock, Kenny and the Miami offense will take the field. Welcome back, everyone. Thursdays this fall, William Shatner's an outspoken father who tells it like he sees it in the new comedy Bleep My Dad Says, Thursday after the Big Bang Theory, only CBS. Here's Ricky Williams. Finds a hole right side and out across the 25 to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Boy, again, a gaping hole.
And that's a power shortage for the Vikings.
Yes, offensively, a real shortage of points here at the start of the 2010 season for a team last year that had no trouble scoring points whatsoever. They were lighting up the scoreboard every week, and the Vikings are content to just let this thing get over with and get into the locker room and try to regroup. A solid first half by the Miami Dolphins, who did something that comes hard to them, at least in the past, and that's generate big plays.
On the road, the Vikings see the Dolphins leading 7-0. Sprint halftime report comes your way next. And welcome back to Minneapolis, everyone. At the break, Miami leading Minnesota by a score of 7-0. Let's take a look now, Dan, at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Well, here you take a look at it right off the bat, the 46-yard pass to Brandon Marshall, the first play of the game offensively for Miami. The Vikings have only had 4 possessions in this first half, and Percy Harvin, he was questionable with that hip to start the game. Now he's questionable. We'll see how much we see him in the second half.
And all that does, Dan, is accentuate the problems that the Minnesota Vikings now have on offense. They've gone basically an entire game without scoring now the last 4 quarters.
Yeah, they've scored a grand total of 9 points now in 6 quarters of football. So now there's a real pressure on them to get something going. I'm surprised on both sides of the line how well Miami is handling the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line is moving the very talented Minnesota defense out of the way, and defensively they are creating a lot of havoc. This is something that Tony Sperano, that we just looked at there on the side, he's got to be very pleased with the physicality of his football team in the first 30 minutes.
This is a good road performance for the Miami Dolphins. Clifton Smith is deep, as the Dolphins will get their hands on the football first here in the second half. Brett Favre no points on the board.
Again, no Sidney Rice either. And I know there are a lot of other guys on the Minnesota offense that are getting paid to play. But it's time for somebody else to step up. Somebody's got to make a mark.
Smith from the 2. Hit at the 18 and falls forward to the 20-yard line. Kenny Onatolu with the stop. And first half numbers.
Well, you can see other than that big pass to Brandon Marshall, the Dolphins don't have a whole lot of passing yardage. But they have kept the football. Again, only 4 possessions in that first half for Minnesota. And the 1 turnover, the interception by Vontae Davis at the 1-yard line.
So the Dolphins start at their own 20-yard line. And they'll start with a play fake. Penny with time over the middle, and that is complete to Ronnie Brown out of the backfield for a pickup of about 3 yards.
I'll tell you, it's fun to watch this Miami offensive line get after it, mix it up with this group from Minnesota. And Jake Long, number 77 there, the first overall pick in the draft a couple of years ago, he is all over Jared Allen.
We talked to him last night, and he said it's his first time going up against Jared Allen. And we said, what strikes you most about him? He said, he's relentless.
He is what you call a high motor guy.
On 2nd and 6, Brown dodges to the left, crosses the 25 to close to the 26-yard line where Chad Greenway makes the stop.
Well, we talked about this matchup between Jake Long and Jared Allen, 2 of the best. Again, there he invites him upfield and then stays on and doesn't let him back in on a draw. Jake Long is really a big, strong guy with good feet. And there's Jared Allen just getting back in on the play. But these 2 guys, these are 2 Pro Bowlers going after each other.
Viking fans looking for a stop from their defense here on 3rd and 4. Kenny. That is complete across the 30 for a first down to Brandon Marshall.
Wow, and that was really pretty darn good coverage by Asher Allen, the cornerback. And that is where the big body of Brandon Marshall really comes into play. There he is at the top of your screen. But look at that, that's pretty tight coverage. Allen gets his hand in there. A good strike from Chad Henne. But man, a quarterback has confidence throwing to a receiver as big and as physical as Brandon Marshall.
52 yards receiving on the day for Brandon Marshall on 2 catches. First down, Miami. Henne to throw again. Gonna go deep. Penalty marker flies as the ball falls incomplete, intended for Hartline. Asher Allen was right with him, and the fans groaned.
Well, we've got 2 flags. We've got a flag at the conclusion of the play, and there's another flag upfield about the 42-yard line.
As the officials say, here's what I got. What do you got?
Well, Mike Carey's got a pair of them, that's for sure.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference. Offense number 80. Personal foul. Unnecessary hit on the defenseless receiver. Defense number 20. Those fouls offset. The play first down.
So Anthony Fasano, the tight end, is guilty of the offensive foul, and Madieu Williams hitting the defenseless receiver.
And everyone knows, the players especially, that at the end of a play you cannot come in leading with your helmet and hit a defenseless player. Not just a defenseless receiver, but a defenseless player. And Williams came in and had a helmet-to-helmet hit. And that will get him a FedEx from the league office as well, asking for a little money.
On first down, Ronnie Brown, hole on the right side, out to about the 38.
Boy, and there are just a few instances here in this game so far where Miami's just gashing Minnesota. This time Richie Incognito, the left guard, is going to come around. You see a good block by Lou Polite, the fullback. And Ronnie Brown has got to be thinking, man, these are some good-looking gaping holes that I'm getting to be slicing through here. This is a great job by this Miami offensive line.
2nd and 3, Ronnie Brown. A first down yardage up the middle. E.J. Henderson dragged him down.
That's the same play, just going the other direction. This time it's the rookie John Jerry, the right guard, pulling to his left. Take a look at it. That's exactly the same play. And E.J. Henderson gets dragged for about 3 yards.
Defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, he's one of the defensive coordinators that likes to work from down on the field instead of up in the booth.
First down, Williams in the game. Williams with the handoff, and another hole to run through for the Dolphins. Up the middle and into Minnesota territory, the 48.
They're not used to watching people run the football against this defense. This is a group that the majority of the last 5 years has led the league in rushing defense. And this crowd right now a little stunned to see Miami and the success they're having on the ground.
Miami 113 yards rushing on the day. They said they would establish the run. They have done that.
2-1.
2nd and 2. Williams going to come up short of a first down this time. Pat Williams led the defensive charge, and Brett Favre waiting for his chance. He hasn't had many today.
Well, it is hard to win on the road in the National Football League, but if there's one surefire friend on the road, it's a running game. It quiets the crowd, it builds the confidence of your team, and right now Miami's got to be feeling pretty good about things. Long way to go, but still, they're handling the line.
Pitch for Brown, right side, good block, and he's knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets a first down. Lou Polite clearing the way.
Well, Lou Polite is really a tremendous all-around fullback. He's an outstanding blocker. He's a good receiver. We know, we've already talked about how effective he is in converting 3rd and 4th and shorts into first downs. But this kid here, well, he's not really a kid anymore. He's 6th year, but boy, he's another one that doesn't get a lot of attention, but should.
He cut down E.J. Henderson on that run. First down, and he to throw. Catch is made on the near side by Brandon Marshall.
These Viking corners have got to be getting a little weary of, and Medea Williams this time had the coverage, but they're all over Brandon Marshall. But Chad Henne is delivering a very, look at that, away from the defender to the outside. Marshall's able to make the hands catch. And again, though, the coverage is pretty tight. The tackling is good, but still 5 yards.
Wildcat offense now as Henne stands on the sideline. Ronnie Brown takes the snap, looks for running room, and doesn't find any. Lost a yard, maybe 2.
When you talk to the Vikings, the one thing they concentrate when it goes to the Wildcat is gap control. Everybody's got to take a gap, stay home. The other thing they do is no matter what coverage they had called, they instantly revert to a cover 2, which is basically what everybody in the league does. You go to a zone defense because you're not really concerned about you want all your defenders facing forward so they can come up and run support. Not worried about them throwing the ball deep out of the Wildcat.
11th play of this drive, Henne back under center on 3rd and 6. Under pressure, throws it away.
Well, Leslie Frazier that time came with the blitz, and there was an unaccounted blitzer coming in, Antoine Winfield, and Henne had no choice but to try to get rid of it. He's going to come from the top. See number 26, he's unblocked, and Chad Henne luckily was looking to his left where he was able to see Winfield coming.
Fields to kick, Camarillo is deep. And he will let this one go. It'll bounce inside the 5 and down by Bobby Carpenter inside the 5. Brett Favre, work cut out for him. Down 7, deep in his own territory after this. Hey, Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, Warren Sapp return on cable's longest running show, the multi-award winning Inside the NFL, every Wednesday on Showtime. Favre will get started on this series without Percy Harvin. Injured hip, his return is questionable. Multiple tight ends on the field for Favre as he starts from his own 5-yard line. Adrian Peterson. Maybe a yard.
Well, Minnesota has been dealing with poor field position. Here's their last 4 drives prior to this one. You can see their own 29, their own 20 they start, their own 14, then their own 8, and now this drive that starts at their own 5.
And Dan, 3 drives of 40 or more yards and they come away empty.
Well, yeah, because they're barely getting back to midfield. The Dolphins have been pinning Minnesota up against their own goal line most of this game.
Favre going to throw on 2nd and 9, and that is complete to Shanko, and Shanko is decked at about the 7 or 8 yard line by Vontae Davis, who's playing himself a whale of a football game.
Yes, he is. And Davis is on Shanko so quick, Visante can't get turned upfield and do anything. Right there you see he's got to turn his back to the defense. And so it's very difficult, and now Vontae Davis is down. He is in distress of some kind.
And a timeout is called with 7:09 to play here in the 3rd.
Talk about a delayed reaction. Yeah. He was celebrating after that tackle on Shanko. And then all of a sudden, about 5 or 8 seconds later, it really hit him.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
There's Vontae Davis on the sideline. Benny Sapp has replaced him on a 3rd and 6. And Favre needs the 15-yard line for a first down. And we get a whistle and a false start by the Vikings.
Looked like Greg Lewis.
It was Greg Lewis. Meanwhile, I think in the world of sports, we have seen that excessive celebration can be hazardous to the health, and it looks like that for Vontae Davis.
Well, watch that super stretch he does. He sure looks okay there. And then he walks about 4 or 5 steps and then goes, wow, something's not right. But he put a lot of enthusiasm into that celebration where he really stretched backwards. I don't know if he hurt himself on the play or the celebration.
Well, he's back in and he's on Percy Harvin now. 3rd and 10. Favre out of his own end zone, had it hit from behind. Loose ball on the ground, fallen on by the Dolphins.
Coamisi's got the football. The question was Brett's arm moving forward.
It looks like it's ruled a safety, but
now
it's a touchdown.
No, Mike Carey made the wrong signal. When you recover a ball in the opponent's end zone, it's a touchdown. Now the Vikings want to know, was Brett's arm moving forward before the ball comes out? Cameron Wake coming around the corner. And it looks from that angle like he knocks the football out of Brett's arm before it ever starts moving, out of his hand rather, before his arm starts moving forward.
Here comes Cameron Wake around the outside.
He gets around Shanko, he gets around Lodeholt, and he knocks that football loose before Brett started the throwing motion.
And the rookie Coamisi, the 2nd-round draft choice out of Utah, falls on it for the touchdown.
And what a game Cameron Wake has played so far.
Extra point by Carpenter is good. Minor shockwaves around the NFL as they look at this score. 6:29 to play in the 3rd. Wake got there before the ball got away. 14-0 Miami. Brett Favre talking things over on the sideline. 6:29 to play in the 3rd, and the Vikings are down 2 touchdowns.
And you know what's frustrating? They had 2 guys assigned to Cameron Wake. Visante Shanko, the tight end, and Phil Lodeholt, the right tackle. And he got around both of them and created that fumble that ends up in a Miami touchdown.
Percy Harvin deep. This is Harvin at the 4. 20. just across the 25-yard line, close to the 26. 6:25 to play in the third. We'll take a timeout. Come back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Prudential, the rock you can rely on to meet today's financial challenges.
Back at a very quiet Mall of America field, and an 0-2 start is not what these fans envisioned for their Minnesota Vikings.
Well, we're a long way away from that. Oh, there can Wake around the corner, and Wake drew.
Picked off by Jason Allen.
There's a flag back in the backfield, but I think that's going to be holding against the Vikings. Phil Lodeholt looked like he tackled Cameron Wake.
Here's Mike Carey.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Offside defense number 27, holding offense number 71. Both fouls offset. First down.
So the interception never happens. Benny Sapp, the ex-Viking, was offside on the play.
Oh boy. Tony Sperano's got to be upset about a defensive back being called for being offside. But the right tackle, Phil Lodeholt, he just horse-collared Cameron Wake, who had a clear shot at Brett Favre.
So once again, Favre on first down. Peterson, right side. Nothing there. Meanwhile, for Brett Favre, I guess Mama said there'd be days like this.
Yeah, a little sampling of what Brett's been having to go through. Here the pocket just disintegrates, and he goes down under 3 Miami Dolphins. Here he actually hits Percy Harvin with the football and ends up being an interception by Vontae Davis, and then just recently in his own end zone stripped by Cameron Wake. It's been a, look at the, completion, 14 out of 20, but the one interception, a lack of production, and a real lack of points. A goose egg.
Favre to throw on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, wide open, Shanko, first down, out to the 45-yard line.
How many times over the last 20 years have we seen Brett Favre just extend the play, buy himself a little time, start in the pocket, move a little, not take it off running. He just takes 2 steps to the right to find himself an alley where he can find Shanko, who has been routinely finding some holes down the seams and in the middle of this Miami defense.
Shanko, 6 catches for 86 yards, 85.
It's about the only thing that's been going wrong for Miami defensively is in the middle of the field. Shanko's been open.
Now first down from their own 44. Favre going up top again, and back shoulder pass complete to Bernard Berrian.
And I'm sure a lot of Vikings fans are going, where has Bernard Berrian been? But that's classic back shoulder, and luckily for Miami, his momentum took him out of bounds, because this might have gone all the way if he was able to stay in bounds. But he's got to adjust his body to come back and catch the back shoulder, and he ends up out of bounds.
Jason Allen slipping and falling to the turf on the play. Now the Vikings at the Miami 35. Favre under pressure, escapes the pressure and is on the move. Throws. That's complete inside the 20-yard line. Catch is made by the tight end, Jim Kleinsasser.
Well, the defender was faced with a decision. Do I leave my guy and come up and support the run? And that's exactly the decision right there. That was Quentin Moses, who ends up coming up to support Brett Favre, and wide open is Kleinsasser. Well, Brett's got him going on this drive. All of a sudden, things are perking up around here.
Peterson, left side, cuts it back for about 2 to the 13.
They've been talking to Adrian about running with some patience. I don't know what happened on that play, but he passed his lead blocker, John Sullivan, the center, who was trying to get around the corner. This man is anxious. How's that for saying he's high-strung?
Second red zone trip of the day for the Vikings. The first time Favre was intercepted. Quick drop, outside pass, picked off at the goal line. Intercepted, and this time Jason Allen makes the pick.
And that was just a really bad decision by Brett Favre. It's like he made up his mind that he was going to throw that pass, coverage or no coverage.
And there was coverage.
And there was coverage.
Tomorrow on The Late Show, don't miss former President Bill Clinton. Then Wednesday, Joaquin Phoenix returns on an all-new day, followed by Craig Ferguson, only CBS. Jason Allen on the bench, setting the Dolphins up.
Remember the last time Miami was in this position, they busted Ronnie Brown loose. Brown's not in there. Ricky Williams is the tailback.
Ricky Williams with the handoff, lost the ball, and it's picked up by, now lost again. Who's got it? Minnesota.
Well, that's how you let somebody back into the ball game.
Aaron Henderson scooped it up finally for the Vikings.
It wasn't even a hard hit. Williams is just going to get stripped. He gets stripped from behind. It looked like E.J. Henderson got a hand on the football.
And then younger brother Aaron Henderson finally ended up with it.
Wow, that's just really poor ball security by Ricky Williams. Yep, that was it. E.J. Henderson got his hand on the ball and knocked it out. Man, ball security is everything backed up to your own goal line.
So now Favre and company back in business at the 2. Favre throws, batted down. Pass intended for Shanko.
I think Carlos Dansby.
That's who it was.
Yep. The free agent and a big, big signing by the Dolphins. He's going to extend here and just get a hand on the ball. Yep, he gets his right hand on it. That's a heck of a play by Dansby.
Second and goal. Peterson. Touchdown. Adrian Peterson's first touchdown of this season.
Well, just good power, and why not go right off left guard? Head right in behind all-world Steve Hutchinson and power it in there, and I'd say he got into that end zone with about a foot to spare.
Ricky Williams lost it. The Vikings have capitalized, and the extra point is good. 2:38 to play in the third quarter. And Miami's lead is cut in half. It's the Dolphins 14, the Vikings 7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Watch your favorite team wherever you live. Only on DirecTV. Call to switch today. And by Bing. Stop searching, start deciding with Bing, the decision engine from Microsoft.
A little bit different mood in the crowd now as Miami allows Minnesota back into the game. Clifton Smith is deep for the Dolphins. From his own 10. 25 and out to about the 28 or 29 yard line. Hey, if you love to laugh, this fall there's more to love with the new comedy Mike and Molly. Premieres tomorrow after 2.5 Men, only CBS.
Well, the big question now is the Vikings defense going to come to life? Are they going to start playing with a little more enthusiasm than they showed earlier? The crowd's on their side. Certainly momentum has shifted their way. Let's see if this lights a spark.
Henny will start by throwing it. Pulls it down twice and then got rid of it, and it's complete to Brandon Marshall. Marshall across the 40 and out to the 42 and a first down. Antoine Winfield tripped him up.
Well, that is the opposite of catching it up against your body. That is just snatching the football out of the air. Watch this by Brandon Marshall. Whoop. Just pull that thing in there. Now he's dangling it out there while he's running. He's put it away at the last minute, but wow, what a display of hands by Brandon Marshall.
71 yards receiving on the day for Marshall, 4 catches. This is Ronnie Brown looking for running room. Penalty marker flies, and he's out of bounds at about the 45. This
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty is still first down.
The penalty is on the rookie right guard, John Jerry. It's the first penalty of the day against the Dolphins.
Well, Brad Childress, you see, working with Brett Favre about what they're going to do when they get the ball back. But I'll tell you this about John Jerry, a rookie starting his second game in the National Football League, having to play against either Pat or Kevin Williams on the inside. He's acquitted himself pretty well. Not happy with the holding call, but pretty good day's work so far.
Henny hasn't been in long yardage much today. He's looking at 1st and 20. Tried a little short dump pass, and Ray Edwards got a hand on it and knocked it down.
Again, just a little tight end screen they're trying to set up. Fasano gets a block, and really Ray Edwards just took a wild swing, and he stayed active. Give him credit for that.
2nd and 20.
One thing for sure, I'd be surprised if Chad Henne took a risk.
Under pressure, on the run, goes down at the 33. Jared Allen.
Yeah, Chad Henne has been coached and coached well, that offensively you don't take chances. He's being asked to walk a fine line between, really what all quarterbacks do. Every now and then you have to be a little risky, but in this situation, Chad Henne's instructions are whatever you do. Incompletion's okay, interception unacceptable.
Brett Favre finding things a little better to smile about. 3rd and 19. And we get a whistle.
No, I think Henne took a timeout.
And a timeout. 41 seconds to play in the 3rd. A shot like that always begs the question, gee, where can I get one?
That's how I feel New Year's Day morning. Well,
Dolphin fans travel, and they travel in style.
Well, it's been fun so far for them, but things are starting to get a little tighter.
3rd and 19. Marshall flank to the top of your screen. Henne with time, throws complete, and this is Devon Bess, and Bess spins his way to the 45-yard line, about 7 yards short of a first down.
But again, a high percentage throw by Henne, a safe play. You don't move the chains, but you're going to make the Vikings go a long ways.
There's Greg Camarillo. He'll be back deep to receive the punt. And it won't happen before we switch ends of the field. So the clock will wind down on the 3rd quarter here at Mall of America Field in Minnesota. And these last 15 minutes should be dandy. At the end of 3, 14-7 Dolphins. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. Back for the start of the 4th quarter. Chad Henne on the left, 110 yards and a touchdown. Brett Favre, 187 yards and 2 interceptions. And Brandon Field just barely got away.
Oh, there's the flag.
Camarillo back to to the 25, back to the 30-yard line, lost the football, it's on the ground.
Well, we've got at least running into the kicker. The question is whether it's going to be roughing the kicker. All right, Mike Carey
says that the Vikings have recovered.
Now, if it's running into the kicker, it won't be enough yardage for a first down.
Running into the kicker, defense number 96. 5-yard penalty is still fourth down.
So it'll now be 4th and 2, and here's another look at it.
Coming in here from your right is Brian Robinson, and you're going to see him. He lays out for the ball, but then he does just absolutely smother the punter.
If you try to catch the guy, that never works, does it?
No, it doesn't. Especially, it's just a pretty good shot.
Don't fall. Don't fall.
No, he hit Fields pretty hard.
You know, all last season, Brett Favre was intercepted twice here at Mall of America Field. He's been picked off twice today.
Well, one was a pass that he actually hit Percy Harvin with the football, and Harvin booted it up into the air. The second one that Jason Allen intercepted, that was just a very, very poor decision.
Fields lost this one up. Fair catch called for and made at about the 10.5-yard line by Greg Camarillo. I want to remind you, this is a doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. And coming up next, it's Tom Brady and the New England Patriots going at Darrelle Revis and the New York Jets, or the Texans against the Redskins. Jaguars battle the Chargers. We ask you to check your local listings.
Now the Patriots and the Jets. Now that's a game I want to watch. There's more storylines in that game than you could write down on a legal tablet.
Favre begins at his own 11-yard line. Again, not the greatest field position in the world. Peterson up the middle, moving the pile to about the 14.
The field position for Minnesota has been just dreadful. There's no other way to describe it. And you can see that. Yeah, that is hard to imagine, but the entire home season last year for the Vikes, including the playoffs, only 20 minutes were they behind. Today they've been behind, obviously, the majority of this game.
This is the 4th time today the Vikings have started inside their own 15-yard line. Here's Peterson, and Peterson shaking tacklers across the 25, still on his feet, across the 30, and knocked down at about the 35 or 36-yard line. That's a tough run.
That is just, I have no quit in me, and I'm just going to keep going and going. What an effort by Adrian Peterson. It's one guy against 11 right here. And look at this. Look at all these arm tackles from Miami. That's not going to do it. Finally, yeah, I mean, he's almost had in the backfield by Dobbins.
23-yard pickup, 91 yards on the day. Here's Toby Gerhardt, and Gerhardt pulls his way. And penalty markers fly all over the place in the defensive secondary.
By the way, talk about finishing a run. Did you hear the end of that hit by Gerhardt?
12 men on the field. Defense, 5-yard penalty. First down, 5 yards to go.
You heard Mike Carey.
Yeah, confusion with the Dolphins as they made substitutions and ended up with too many people. Well, boy, did Gerhardt. He put an exclamation point on the end of that last run.
And you get the feeling here, the Minnesota offense finding a little rhythm and getting up ahead of steam. Gerhardt reaching for the first down.
Yeah, the play before this, let's go back and watch Toby as he takes this thing up here. Listen to this. Carpenter and goes another 4 yards. You know, that's what they were looking for. You invest a second-round draft choice, and what a collegiate career he had at Stanford. He's fast, but man, he brings it.
On first down, Peterson now right side, breaking through inside the 45, bulls his way to the 40, and we have penalty markers down in the defensive secondary again.
Men on the field. Defense is declining plays of first down.
I really don't believe I've ever seen that before. Again, substitutional issues. There you are at the top of the screen. You can see that Tony McDaniel's trying to get off the field and doesn't make it in time. He was kind of jogging along with the glasses, a defensive coordinator in his first year at Miami. 4 years the head coach of the 49ers.
Adrian Peterson now up over 100 yards rushing on the day, 103. Favre to throw, pulls it down over the middle, complete inside the 40 to Gerhardt, and he is hit almost immediately by Carlos Dansby.
Well, we have just seen a couple just superlative efforts by Adrian Peterson. It is just, man, it is fun. It's like, I remember watching Barry Sanders, how you just never knew. Didn't matter whether he started to the left or to the right. You just always thought something amazing was going to happen.
Here he comes again. He eludes one tackler, but can't elude the second. He's dragged down by Kendall Langford.
Well, Miami's getting their shots at AP in the backfield, and they're not able to get it.
That's a challenge to drag him down by yourself.
Well, I'm not saying I could do it. He's an extraordinary collection of power and speed and instinct. And if you view this as a sport or as entertainment, if it's entertainment, there's a lot of entertainment value in watching Adrian Peterson run.
3rd and 6. Favre from the shotgun pulls it down and throws, and now complete at the 30-yard line. Peterson has the first down, or right at the marker. Let's see where they spot it.
Again, Adrian Peterson wants to come out, but again, we see pocket movement by Favre.
Looks like Mike Carey signaling 4th down.
Well, because the ball's right on the yard marker, he's going to take a look at it. I guess he thought he could make a call. You know, if it's in between yard markers, it's a little tougher to tell. We'll see if Mike and his gut instincts were correct.
A couple of the Dolphins thought the spot was wrong. Adrian Peterson taking a breather.
Well, he's earned one.
You betcha. He'll sleep well tonight.
He'd sleep a lot better if they'd win this game.
4th and inches.
Well, Mike Carey was right.
Their opening drive, they were right about at this point on the field at 4th and 2, and were stopped.
Well, they were facing about a 43 or 44-yard field goal, and he opted to go for the first down. Favre passed it, and it got batted down.
So they'll go for it here. Peterson in the backfield, along with Tahi, the fullback. And we get a whistle.
Was there a problem with the play clock? Whatever it is, Brett's not happy about it.
Nor was Brad Childress on the sideline.
No. Maybe Mike Carey will grace us with an explanation. Or maybe not.
So here we go. 4th and inches. Tahi straight ahead. Did he get there?
I'm not sure he got back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see what kind of a spot he got.
I think you know what Tony Sperano thinks.
Oh, well, they moved the football a little bit forward. That's farther forward than it was before.
Yes, it is. And we'll get another measurement.
Well, they were only about 4 inches short. It looks to me by that spot that they may have picked up 4 1/8 inches.
First down.
Boy, Tony Sperano was livid. I mean, the linesman's got to look at it. We're right on there. Yeah, I think that's one of the best spots anybody ever got. It didn't look to me like he got the first down, but my opinion doesn't matter.
First down it is. Peterson in the backfield. Peterson, big hole up the middle, leaping over a tackler inside the 15 to the 12.
It's a sight to see, isn't it? The great Adrian Peterson.
Favre again for Peterson to the 10.
Well, there are guys that are slow getting up on both sides of it, but what a great hold. Nice kick out block by Anthony Herrera. Hutchinson does a superb down block, but that, I'm sorry, there is no page in the coaching manual on how you tell a guy to do that.
Peterson 22 now for 122, 57 yards rushing this quarter. Here's Gerhardt to about the 9. Clock continues to move as we come up on 8.5 minutes to play in regulation.
And this has been a long physical drive, but again, it's been a little bit of everything. But it's just been Adrian Peterson. This guy is just plain fun to watch.
And we saw the Vikings kind of take the temperature of the Dolphins and feel that they had them moving and wanted to up-tempo a bit. Ball at the 8-yard line. It's 3rd and 7. Favre on the move and goes down. Kendall Langford with the pressure.
Well, Brett wasn't going to make a mistake like he made before, turning it over down on the goal line. You could see he makes his decision. He had a play in mind, and it's not there. And he's not any longer looking for anybody to throw to. And again, there was Cameron Wake down around his feet. Langford finished it up. And anytime you see Brett go down with a guy around his legs, you got to worry about that ankle.
Ryan Longwell from 29 yards out is good. 7:52 to play in the 4th. Vikings creep a little closer. 14-10 Dolphins. Those are the numbers. 13-play, 77-yard drive. Ryan Longwell's field goal makes it 14-10. And Adrian Peterson having himself a terrific day. And despite that, you really have to hand it to this Miami Dolphins defense, because really the only touchdown they've given up, they ended up with their backs against the wall on the fumble.
Yep, you're exactly right. And Brett's had a couple interceptions at the 1-yard line. And look at the Miami marks all over Peterson's jersey. Both shoulder pads all across the back. There's aqua all over.
Clifton Smith not going to run it out of his end zone. So he'll start at their own 20-yard line. Time for the Miami ground game to take some time off the clock.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Loveza, Sony, and by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:52 to play. The game plan is simple. The Dolphins need to take time off the clock. Ricky Williams dragged down in the backfield by Chad Greenway.
Well, Ricky Williams gets another chance. It was his fumble that set up the Minnesota touchdown, and this time he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Again, Chad Greenway. It wasn't Ricky's fault. Chad Greenway just waiting for him.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. And he throws outside, and that is caught at the 20-yard line by Brian Hartline.
Well, it was a busy third quarter. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. Brett Favre got stripped in his own end zone by Cameron Wake, and it ends up being a Miami defensive touchdown. He then throws it right to Jason Allen, and then Ricky Williams fumbles, and this sets up Minnesota's lone touchdown as Adrian Peterson powers it into the end zone.
Then Longwell's field goal made it 14-10. Ronnie Brown in the backfield, 3rd and 9. And Henne has to take a timeout.
Oh boy, that's
with the play clock winding down.
And that's the second timeout Miami's had to use here.
Crunch time here in Minneapolis. 3rd and 9 for Henne and the Dolphins. Brandon Marshall at the top of your screen. Henne running out of time, on the move, throws, incomplete.
Well, Chad Henne got hit around the legs just as he delivered the football, and that ball came out of there with not as much on it as he would have liked. And all right, take a look at Marshall working against Lito Shepherd, but they got Marshall right there, and Marshall did a good job of coming back and contesting Shepherd for the ball. Or Shepherd might have had an interception.
Field kicks it away to Camarillo. Backs up to his own 20. 30. Out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Jared Allen putting the pressure on Chad Henne. Henne couldn't get what he needed on the ball, and it's Viking football.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong. Subway, where winners eat. And by E-Trade.
Back in Minneapolis, Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, Ricky Williams' fumble opened the door for the Vikings, who are now within 4, 6:10 to play here in the fourth quarter. Favre gonna heave it down the field for Berrien, intercepted by Jason Allen again. And we have a little scuffle at midfield. That's the 3rd time today Jason Allen has picked off Brett Favre, and only 2 of them have counted.
Well, that's where the brain thinks that I'm 30 and the arm says that I'm 40. Because that ball into double coverage is just underthrown. Berrien's not able to come back and react to it. And Jason Allen basically just had to wait for it to come down. That ball just didn't cover as much ground or nearly the distance that Brett Favre tried to put into it.
4th turnover of the day by the Vikings. 3 interceptions and a fumble by Favre. Ronnie Brown. They'll look to stay in bounds. Pat Williams fumble.
I saw no signal by an official that the ball was down. They did not rule him down by contact, that's for sure. And
Viking football.
Well, Tony Sperano is holding his challenge flag. It was a Ricky Williams fumble, and now it's a Ronnie Brown fumble.
And that ball is out.
That ball came out before he was down. That first look, we saw the ball drop out before a knee or an elbow or anything hit the ground.
E.J. Henderson was the man on the football at the bottom of the pile. And here is Favre at the 24-yard line. Peterson, 20, out of bounds, just short of the 15.
Well, a good look here. Here comes Lodehold outside. Here comes Herrera. Herrera is the guy that makes it happen. He really gets a good block, and then there was a good block downfield by the Viking wide receiver. And Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams, two fairly reliable ball security guys, have both critically fumbled, hurting the Dolphins.
Jeff Dugan in motion. Peterson, the handoff. Peterson to the 10.
Well, that is Barry Sanders-ish right there. There's no such word, but this is how you make a guy miss. What a change of direction. Wow. Look at that. Just beautiful work by Adrian Peterson.
Clock continues to move. 4:40 to play here in the fourth. First and goal at the 10. Peterson, left side, slips down, gets up again. Inside the 5 to about the 3.
Why not? What else has been missing with him running the ball today? Again, he's going to try to make a hard cut, and he gets his right leg too far up underneath him, but Hutchinson holds his blocks. He's 76 right there. He's going to pin back to the inside right there, and that allows Peterson to come back in and cut off his hip.
Under 4 minutes to play.
Fantastic running and darn good blocking up front.
Peterson, 142 yards and working on more. Right side. May have lost a yard. Quentin Moses, number 93, with the tackle.
The Vikings have turned the ball over 4 times and yet are this close to taking the lead in this football game. Because of a lot of kindly gestures and fumbles and turnovers by the part of the Dolphins. Their 2 fumbles are just been monsters.
Each team with 7 points off turnovers. Peterson up the middle, short of the goal line. Bobby Carpenter made a stand at the goal line. 4th and goal, under 3 minutes to play.
Well, Brad Childress went for a first down on their first possession. Why would you think he wouldn't go for the whole deal here?
Tight ends in all over the place for the Vikings. Dugan is out there, so is Kleinsasser, so is Shanko.
Yeah, a field goal only gets you within a point. I mean, he's got no choice but to go for it here. When Tony Sparano said, "I have a team full of grinders," he was obviously talking about his defense, because I'm telling you what, they got it done. Multiple hits on AP. Welcome back, everybody. Here's Carlos Dansby. Watch him slice. Watch Davis slice. Watch these two come in. But Dansby scrapes, fills, and then he gets help. The follow-up from Vontae Davis. Textbook play by a linebacker.
Lou Polite, the only one in the backfield, and now Ronnie Brown joins him, but Polite straight ahead for about a yard. And let's see if the Vikings burn a timeout before we get to the 2-minute warning. They do. Brett Favre on the sideline. Go back and Carlos Dansby.
Well, the free agent pickup, he has really filled in. He's become a leader, and boy, what a big stop right there. Look how he squares his shoulders, wraps up, and I'm not sure that would have been enough Peterson might have been able to stretch out with the football, but he got secondary help from Vontae Davis. But big-time play by Dansby.
Carlos Dansby told us the Giants were in play for his services, as were the Chargers and the Browns, but he liked the Bill Parcells influence in Miami. 2nd and 9. Fake. Kenny sliding down at about the 2.5, maybe the 3-yard line. Penalty marker at the 10.
Did they come in and hit Henne with a helmet?
Pointing at Antoine Winfield. Here's Mike Carey.
Holding defense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Automatic.
Oh, automatic. First down.
That's Chad Greenway.
Oh, boy. All right, now Chad is sprinting around here. There's Antoine Winfield coming in from the right. Now, you know, Henne did not hook slide, so he doesn't deserve any protection. And that really was more shoulder than helmet, so no problem there with Winfield. But Greenway's penalty is a problem because that's a first down.
2:06 on the clock. Ronnie Brown. Helmets go flying, but the ball is secure.
Aaron Henderson lost his.
2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The Dolphins 2 minutes away from going 2-0. Brad Childress looking on. 2 minutes on the clock. Remember, this is just the first of 2 here on CBS. A doubleheader Sunday. Check your listings for the game in your area. 2nd and 10. The pitch for Ronnie Brown. Turns the corner. Has some yardage out across the 10 to about the 14-yard line.
And Minnesota burns another timeout.
That leaves each team with 1 timeout. Until that run, the ground game, which had been so powerful in the first half for the Miami Dolphins, was atrocious here in the second half. Mentioned doubleheader Sunday. Games coming up next. Tom Brady and the Patriots. Darrelle Revis and the New York Jets. Houston, young Arian Foster at running back against Donovan McNabb and the Washington Redskins, or Jacksonville at San Diego. In the second half, Ricky Williams has carried 4 times for 5 yards and fumbled. Ronnie Brown, 8 carries for 24 yards and a fumble.
And both those fumbles were lost.
3rd and 3. Henne batted down at the line.
Wow. Because it's an incomplete pass, Minnesota doesn't have to use a timeout.
We've seen our fair share of passes batted down at the line of scrimmage today.
Well, that worked out extremely well for Minnesota. Chad trying to go right across the middle, and Kevin Williams, who's played a heck of a football game. He has been all over the place. That one was big.
Brandon Fields could use some length in this punt. Low. It'll bounce. Camarillo at the 45 and buried right there.
Well, he has been here before many times, as you can see. He's got 1 timeout to work with. He's got good field position. And the Vikings need a touchdown.
1:42 on the clock and 55 yards away from pay dirt. Favre in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Visanthe Shenko. 2nd and 10.
All right, let's take a look at this throw. Shanko has to really go down for it, but that hits him right between the numbers. That is a catch that he should and normally does catch. That was a good, accurate throw, though, from Favre.
Second and 10. Favre on the move, throws this way. Oh, what a catch! No, incomplete. Intended for Greg Lewis, and Vontae Davis just tracked him all the way to the ground, and he couldn't hold on.
Boy, this kid, Vontae Davis, he is all over the field. He's just in the midst of one big play after another. Great job by Lewis of elevating and getting up there to try to catch the football, but just bothered to the point by Davis that he could never just completely get a handle on the football.
Third and 10. Favre going to step up and throw, and that one is complete inside the 45 to the 41 to Greg Lewis, who holds on to this one. That's a first down. Clock continues to move.
As the old saying goes, that was right in the breadbasket.
.70 seconds to play. Favre motioning, has his man out of the backfield, Peterson, and Peterson to the 31. Jeremiah Bell with the stop. We're under a minute to play. And Favre fakes the spike, throws it to the side to Berrien, who's knocked out of bounds.
And that's exactly what he did, faking the spike to try to lull somebody from Miami into going to sleep.
Back in the studio, our friend Dan Marino would be proud.
Well, you can't fake taking a knee. That's against the rules now. You can't do that. But you can do this. Yeah, he's not faking taking a knee. He's just faking throwing the ball into the ground.
Second and 7. Favre diving for the ball at the 5-yard line, intended for Greg Lewis. Chris Clemens, number 30. 42 seconds to play.
I think everybody here is trying to remember back a year ago that last-minute play against the 49ers in the back of this same end zone where the Vikings are headed to Greg Lewis. That strike by Favre at the back of the end zone.
Under pressure, he had to get rid of it early, and it's incomplete. Quentin Moses in on Favre. It'll be 4th and 7.
Moses coming around McKinney and gets right into Brett's midsection and does a heck of a job of pulling up. Smart football. You're not going to extend a drive by getting some stupid penalty called on me. Smart football.
What did Cameron Wake tell us? Coach Nolan preaches an offensive style of defense. 4th and 7. Favre over the middle, incomplete. Thrown behind Shanko. And the Dolphins are in position to go 2-0.
And conversely, the Vikings are looking at opening 0-2. Well, no surprise that Favre would try to find Visanthe Shanko in this situation. Split him out a little bit, about 3 yards flexed, and Smith just all over him. That is just outstanding work by Sean Smith. And Shanko can say, "Where's the flag?" But that was really exemplary work by Sean Smith.
Henny takes a knee. And that will do it.
An impressive road win by the Miami Dolphins. We talked at the top about having to find some points and they found a defensive touchdown today. And defensively, they made it stand up.
The Miami Dolphins have started 0-2 each of the last 4 years. They start 2-0 for the first time since 0-2. For Dan Dierdorf, for all of us here in Minneapolis, Greg Gumbel saying so long. Coming up, it's the Burger King Update. We'll take you to New York for all the scores and highlights after this.